Hi, greetings. Hello. My name is Tiffany French, and I'm coming here live in effect to record a video about the history of Halle Turner, Halle Tanner Dillon Johnson. So Halle Tanner Dillon Johnson was the first African American woman to receive to become certified to practice medicine in the state of Alabama. She was the first woman to do so. So tonight I'm going to be looking at her history, and I'm going to be sharing some information regarding to what she has done. So on today, April 26, 2021, she passed away on April the 26th of 1901 at the young age of 37. All right. She went through the complication of childbirth. So, and the thing is, see, a lot of people have to realize that for many women, they have a great chance of dying while giving birth to children than the chance of living. So, and that's a fact. But yeah, that's how her life had ended. But let me go ahead and show some information which come from Wikipedia, and also I'm going to present some information from the Encyclopedia of Alabama.org. All right, so the only thing that I really do here is post literary sources, and that's why I do so that way people can go and verify the information and check out the sources themselves instead of taking somebody's word for it. So they'll be able to know where they can go and do their research, or if they need help looking for something, they'll know where to go and where to go verify information, things of that nature. So this is what I do a lot. I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I'm a person that's a lover of knowledge, especially when it comes to history, dealing with African Americans and those in the diaspora and those in the continent. So I try to present as much as I possibly can and try to share as much as I can, because it's plethora of information out there, and it's a lot of things that we're unaware of and that we don't know about. So also I want to say Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslim out there who's fasting on this beautiful day of Ramadan. May you guys enjoy it, and hopefully I hope you guys are being safe, especially during this pandemic. I know it's hard, and some may have got vaccinated too, but a shout out to you guys that are celebrating Ramadan. I was doing that myself. I'm not a Muslim, but however, I'm observing the holiday for a special reason. So yeah, I know how fasting can be. It's very hard to do so. It can be very complicated, especially when it takes a lot of focus and energy. But anyways, let me go ahead and get on to the subject. So I got some information that I am going to share. And right here, what I have posted is a picture of Halle. So Halle, as you can see, she was very, very young, very beautiful. And she's right here. All right. So now I'm going to go to people's favorite website. A lot of people like using WikiOne for other things other than trying to get quality information. So let's go to WikiOne. Let's see what WikiOne is saying. So I want to post this up. All right. So right here on WikiOne website, as you can see, Halle Tanner Dillon Johnson. So according to WikiOne, she was born October the 17th, 1864. And she died April 26th of 1901. She was the first woman to be licensed as a physician in Alabama. Okay. She was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the oldest daughter of Benjamin Tucker Tanner and Sarah Elizabeth Tanner, who were prominent figures in the local African American community. Benjamin was a minister at the African Methodist Episcopal Church in Pittsburgh, and Halle worked with him to publish the Christian Recorder, a publication of the church. Her brother was the painter Henry Oswald Tanner. So it goes on to talk about her marriage. She got married in 1886 to Charles Dillon, who died shortly after they had a child 2 years later. Johnson, then Halle Dillon, returned home to her family and entered the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania, graduating with the honors in 1891. All right, around the time of her graduation, Booker T. Washington, founder of Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, had written to the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania seeking an African-American physician. Dillon accepted the offer soon after her graduation. So it goes on to say her career. She began her career with the Alabama State Medical Examination, a 10-day oral examination administered by the leading physician of the state. She was under heavy scrutiny and the public eye due to her race and gender. So yes, at that time, women were considered minorities, Black women especially, because not only their race, but their gender. All right. So it was very, very patriarchal back then. So it was hard for women to get into the medical field. All right. And if they did get into the medical field, they could not get into a certain position of power. So imagine what she had to deal with and all the scrutiny she had to go through in order to get there. And this is one of the reasons why we should be appreciative that many of us, or our people who are able to graduate from college, who have certain type of degrees and who are in certain type of fields, they should be thankful that there were people who opened up the doors of opportunity, who broke the barriers and said, we're going to make this possible. So nobody else from another generation had to go through the same thing that we had to deal with and we had to endure. All right. So let's go ahead and continue. All right. So it goes on to say, but successfully passed the examination to become the first woman physician in Alabama. While at Tuskegee, she cared for the students and staff and taught classes at the university. She founded a nursing school as well. She also practiced medicine and pharmacy in the community and founded the Lafayette Dispensary for locals. Okay. Later life, Johnson married a mathematics professor at Tuskegee, the Reverend John Quincy Johnson, in 1894, and she ended her career there when they moved to Columbia, South Carolina. Her husband became president of Allen University, a private school for Black students. They moved to Hartford, Connecticut, Atlanta, Georgia, and Princeton, New Jersey for his education in theology. They had 3 children together. All right. In 1900, the Johnsons moved to Nashville, Tennessee, where John became a minister at St. Paul's M.E. Church. Halle died in childbirth on April 26, 1901. All right. So she passed away at the tender age of 37. She was young, very young. All right, so I have another information to back that source up. And it can be found right here on alabama.org. So let me show the application. All right, so right here on this website, it says the Encyclopedia of Alabama. And as I pull up the information right here, it goes to say the title, Halle Tanner Dillon application. So the application for examination, and it reads here to the Board of Medical Examiners of the state of Alabama. It says, desiring to the practice, and it's blank right here, system of medicine in the county of Macon, Alabama. I have the honor herewith to make application to your board for the examination required by the law of the state. As a preliminary thereto, I herewith declare that I have not been examined by any board of medical examiners in the state of Alabama within the last 12 months, and also respectfully submit the following statements of facts. So this, and her handwriting was so pretty. She had a pretty handwriting. This is Halle Tanner Dillon. She was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right. Tuskegee, Alabama. at Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania, May 6, 1891. All right, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I can't read the person's name right here. I think it says Jean, or I don't know what that say, but I know it says Armstrong, the last name. And it says Clara Marshall, MD. And then the application was on August 17, 1891. And then that's her signature. Again, she had such a pretty handwriting, but it's hard to read some of the letters, you know. But her handwriting was real pretty. It looks kind of like calligraphy. But that's her application for examination that she filled out. Okay. All right. So here's another information to verify the source. All right, so right here it says Halle Tanner Dillon. All right, Halle Tanner Dillon, of course. I already read about her date of birth and where she was born, etc. Okay. And she entered to college at the age of 24 to the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania. And it says she was the only African American in her class of 36 and graduated with honors on May the 7th, 1891. So it goes on to say, through the college dean Clara Marshall, Dillon connected with Booker T. Washington. And it goes on to say Dillon wrote Washington about the position. He responded with a description and also journeyed to Philadelphia that spring to meet Dillon and her father. Dillon accepted the position and moved to Tuskegee in August, set to begin working on September the 1st of 1891. Dillon first had to pass the Alabama certification exam, which consisted of answering hundreds of questions from the all-white board of examiners over several days. Yeah. All right. So Washington, knowing how difficult the exam would be for Dillon, arranged for her to study with Montgomery physician Cornelius Nathaniel Dorset. He was a classmate of Washington's at Hampton Institute and in 1882 graduate of the University of Buffalo Medical School. So Washington had persuaded Dorset to come south and set up a practice as the first licensed African-American physician in Montgomery County, and one of the first in the state. After her period of studying with Dorset, Dillon sat for the medical licensure examination. The test began in Montgomery on August 17, 1891, concluded on August 25th. During those days, she was examined on 10 subjects by 10 different examiners. At that time, anyone wanting to take the state medical certification exam could either take it before any county board or at the state board in Montgomery. Why Dillon took the exam there instead of Macon County is a mystery. Washington had made her aware of the choice. Among her examiners in Montgomery were some of the most prominent physicians in Alabama at the time. Okay, check this out. So it says Peter Bryce, superintendent of the Alabama Insane Hospital since 1860, tested her on medical jurisprudence. Jerome Cochran, state health officer and the primary force behind the Medical Licensure Act of 1877, examined Dillon in chemistry. Her examiner in natural history and diagnosis of disease was George A. Ketchum, dean of the Medical College in Alabama from 1885 until his death in 1906. He was also involved in creating the Medical Association of the state of Alabama. In 1847, James T. Searcy, her examiner in hygiene, became superintendent of the Alabama Insane Hospital following Bryce's death. Dillon was examined in obstetrical operation by John B. Gaston, who had served as president of MASA in 1882. So, of course, she passed the examination. Then it goes on to talk about the early in the process. Walter Bristol, clerk of the Alabama State Board of Health, told her that she had done well in chemistry, that knowledge must be blustered her confidence. She told Washington in a letter during the exams that she felt she could pass if graded fairly, and acknowledged that the surgery portion was very difficult. She was so impressed the members of the board that her performance on the examination was noted in the 1892 Master Journal Transaction. All right. And then what it goes on to say, Dillon served at Tuskegee from September the 1st, 1891 to sometime in 1894. She was paid $600 a year for the position, plus room and board and a month of vacation. Dillon lived in Alabama Hall on campus. During her years there, she cared for some 450 students as well as 30 faculty and their families. She made her own medicine as much as possible and taught classes as needed. She also had private patients who were charged 25 cents for medicines and 10 cents for house calls. She founded the Lafayette Dispensary and Nursing Training School on campus, funded by a Northern philanthropist to provide health services for Black residents. She described the clinic at a May 1894 meeting of Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania alumni, noting the hundreds in need of medical attention in the area surrounding Tuskegee Institute. In a 1910 article, Booker T. Washington described the thriving nursing school's 3-year program and indicated the existence of a hospital at the institute. All right. So, and then I already read about her second marriage. All right. So it's unknown whether she had ceased the practice of medicine after her second marriage. All right. So it says here that she died of dysentery and childbirth complication. All right. Again, she was very young. She was 37 years old. And she's buried in Greenwood Cemetery in Nashville. All right. So that's additional source down here. All right. So that's all the information regarding to Halle Tanner Dillon and her certification. Her certification to practice medicine and whatnot. So again, she was the first woman to receive her certification in the state of Alabama. And one thing I can say about Booker T. Washington before I leave out, he really made sure that he created a space and opportunity for a lot of African Americans who were in certain profession and fields, especially in medicine and in science and whatnot. He created that opportunity and space by him being a young man from who grew up on the slave plantation and had little education. He understood the value of education. He understood the importance. So he wanted to be able to help the African American community to grow. And so he helped women like her, or people like her, to get that opportunity. By her being Black and being a woman, when nobody else wanted to open up doors for her, he said, okay, come on down here to Alabama and I'll make sure you taken care of. I'll make sure you cover. And from there, she was good. So it's not a whole lot of information about her life and other things that have taken place. So far, that's what I was able to find. All right, but other than that, you guys, this is Tiffany French, and this is my YouTube channel. So if you ever watch this video, check out the contents I have on there, and also share the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all the great stuff. So this is all I have for tonight. And until next time, take it easy. Peace and power and elevation be to all of you. And I hope to reconnect with you all later. All right. So, all right then. Take it easy. Thank you.